Right, this is for my Detroit Pistons fans out there. I just want to give a shout out to all those Detroit Pistons YouTubers that stay truthful and faithful to the team, or true and faithful to the team. Ones that's been with us when we were down and when we were up, and we had high expectations and low expectations. I'm talking about people like Pistons Mike, Locked On Pistons, Pistons Fanatic, Pistons Powered, several other ones out there. If I missed you, I apologize. Pistons Talk. I don't want to forget you guys also. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate you all keeping us up to date on what's going on in Pistons Nation. This is a quick video here that I came up with. If we have to make changes somewhere down the line, these are just some trade proposals that I have. But for those of you that jumped on the bandwagon just to make fun of this team while we're going through, and I say we because I'm going to stick with them, come hell or high water, that's my team. But for those of you that jumped on the bandwagon just to make videos and get likes and get your counts up, I understand what you're doing, but I don't have a lot of respect for you for that. And I'm not one of those big YouTubers out there. I just drop stuff from time to time. And I'm just dropping this one for my Detroit Pistons fans. So what are we going to do? I say give these guys a chance. Give Monty Williams a chance to make this roster the way he wants it to be. Give Troy Weaver a chance. And let's see what he can do this upcoming off season. I wouldn't throw in the towel yet. And as far as giving everybody away, having or fire sale, I don't agree with that. Let these guys play together in jail, and let's see what we got going on here. Now, I do have to say, if we get to mid-season and we're not over 10 wins, then we got to make some major changes. Hope you all enjoy that sunset back there and these freight trains going by. But these are just some trade proposals that I have, that I came up with. Let me know, what you think in the comment section. So this is what the roster will look like in one of these trade proposals. You have Kevin Huerter from Sacramento as a small forward. We keep Cade Cunningham. Now, if you don't hear their name mentioned, they're not part of the roster, and I'll get into that as far as who got traded for who. Trace Jackson Davis, power forward. Andrew Wiggins, small forward. Kenny Lofton Jr., recently released by the Memphis Grizzlies, so he's out there, and I think Detroit should make a move and grab him. Power forward. Bol, power forward. Dennis Schrader, point guard. Chris Murray, small forward. Jabari Walker, small forward. Marcus Bingham Jr., remember him from Michigan State? Bring him in as a center. Keep Jalen Duren. A little bit fragile now, but I think we need to keep Jalen Duren on this proposal. Monte Morris, point guard. Stanley Moody, shooting guard. Kevin Knox, second, small forward. Beef Stew, he's going to be here as the center. Moses Moody, shooting guard. Max Christie, small forward. Luka Samanic, you're going to hear me say his name a lot. I think the Pistons should make a deal and bring him into Detroit from the Jazz. So that's what this roster will look like on as far as this trade proposal is concerned. And let me get down to how this could come about. So you probably didn't recognize that Jaden Ivey and Marvin Bagley were not on this roster, as well as Isaiah Livers. I had a deal that I would propose of sending those three along with a 2026 first-round unprotected draft pick to Golden State Warriors for Trace Jackson Davis, Andrew Wiggins, Moses Moody. I think that's a deal that Golden State might give a nod. I don't think they're going to win the championship this year. I'm not going to say they're in a total rebuild mode, but I do think that's a deal that Troy Weaver should throw out there. Moving down the line, we got Marcus Bingham Jr. He was playing over in Israel, but I guess with all the conflict and whatnot going over there, that their season is done pretty much. I think that would be a great move to go and make room for him on this roster. Also have Jared Rhoden going to the Utah Jazz for Luka Samanic. I already said, Kenny Lofton Jr., you can get him off waivers. He's out there, so someone probably will snatch him up in the next few days, but I would love to see the Pistons make a roster spot for him. And no love lost, but we got to waive Joe Harris. I was one that's saying we should acquire him, but that was a few years ago. It just seems like the team was a day late and a dollar short on that one. But I would waive him and open up that spot for Kenny Lofton Jr. We seem to be guard heavy, so that's why I have Marcus Sasser going over to the Phoenix Suns for Bol Bol. And mind you, I don't believe in dogging players out, sending them to bottom feeders, so to speak. So I try and get them in my proposals to situations where it will be better for them to get them in a winning environment, not a losing environment. So I do have Marcus Sasser going over to Phoenix. It would be a great backup for Devin Booker there in Phoenix, and playing alongside Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal and those guys that run the floor. So I think that'll be a great opportunity for him, and we will see what we have with Bol Bol coming in Detroit. Alec Burks, I think Toronto would be a great spot for him. Toronto is kind of on the outside looking in, so to speak, as far as getting deep into the playoffs, and I think he will be a great help for them. In return, Dennis Schroeder, I proposed a trade for him a couple of years ago. I think he was a free agent, and I said the Pistons should have went after him. I still think that he will be a great veteran choice as far as bringing in a guard in the backcourt while we can continue to develop our young guards on this roster. One of these didn't work out. I'll get into that one down the line. I put a big note there, and that was involving Isaiah Livers, but I couldn't get that deal. I couldn't see how that deal would work out. But the other deal on here is, these are two guys that I believe have a bright upside to them. And one of these guys, everybody was calling for his head, and I'm still a fan of his. It doesn't matter where he goes, I'm still going to be one of his biggest fans. And that's Killian Hayes and also Ausar Thompson. I have those two guys going to the Portland Trailblazers for Jabari Walker and Chris Murray. Chris Murray is the brother of Keegan Murray. And I had them being swapped out. See, one of the things I was looking at with this team was, let me see, did I get the Kevin Huerter deal in here? Trying to see if I got that Kevin Huerter deal in here. Yeah, Bojan Bogdanovic. Sorry, I forgot about that. I skipped over this one. To Sacramento, who was in the playoff hunt for Kevin Huerter. Kevin Huerter is a shooting guard. I mean, everybody's saying we need shooters, so I mean, might as well acquire him while we can before these teams get into their deep runs going into the second half of the season. So some players are out there to be had. And with this particular proposal here, I came up with this. I was looking at some of the games. I don't get all the games out here where I'm at, but just looking at some of the highlights, and one thing I noticed is that people tend to push us around a lot. So I believe we need to get bigger and bulkier. That's why you see me adding the likes of Trace Jackson Davis, Andrew Wiggins, Kenny Lofton Jr., Chris Murray, Jabari Walker, Marcus Bingham Jr. We need to get a little bit bigger and a little more physical going forward, because what we have now is just not doing it. And I wish everyone the best as far as their careers are concerned for the young guys, but right now we can kind of catch this thing while it's going in the free fall and kind of salvage some of this season, even though we are out of the playoff hunt, but we could finish strong by making some of these deals now. And like I say on a lot of the videos and proposals that I do, we got to catch teams before they get in their stride, because once they get in their stride, it's going to be hard to unlock anything or any player that is of value going forward once these teams hit their stride. So I think it's still early enough in the season to make some of these deals, and I don't want to give up on any of our young guys. I just want them in better situations, because judging by the body language, they're exhausted. And, you know, I don't want to blow up the whole roster. That's why we're keeping some of these players around. But we got to make some moves on some things that may not be working for the Detroit Pistons at this moment in time in particular. So those are my proposals on this one right here. And with every proposal that I have, one player that I'm looking at that's coming out of college that you must draft is Armando Bacot. You need to draft him and make him a Detroit Piston. That answers a lot of questions that we have in the low post, as far as having a player that's versatile, that could spread the floor, that could score in the paint, that's not afraid to bang in the paint, and that has the body and muscle to do so. So Armando Bacot has to be on the Detroit Pistons radar. You do whatever you have to do to get him on the Detroit Pistons. That's all I'm going to say about that. So with those moves, that's what we'll be looking at for that season. Now, as far as going into next season with free agency, as far as free agency is concerned, some players will have pretty much be borrowing on a one-year deal. But our targets with this particular proposal would be Kawhi Leonard is a free agent. D'Angelo Russell is a free agent. This is a wild card I'm going to throw out there, and I had him on my watch list when he was in college. That's Drew Peterson. He'll be a free agent. He used to play at USC, and I think he has a lot of room for growth, so to speak. But I have him in there as a wild card. You probably can get him in free agency quicker than you could some of the others, because some of these guys might stay where they're at. Number 4 on the list is Pascal Siakam from Toronto. I don't know if he's going to move, but you throw it out there and you make that offer to him. And the last one is Jonas Valanciunas out of New Orleans. So those would be my targets if I was to put on my Troy Weaver costume for next season's free agent market. So let me know what you think in the comment section. Like I said, there's going to be some changes that are going to be made. And we'll see what happens. Thanks for listening.